We need brand new mini bosses within Black Ops 7 Zombies and for them to not return from map to map. What's going on, guys? How are you, meatballs? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about something that has really been driving me crazy for a couple of years now. I don't want to see the same bosses in Zombies yet again. Now, before you click off this video saying this is negative, this, that, the other thing, I just want to point out very quickly that I very much enjoy Black Ops 6 Zombies, but it doesn't mean I don't have gripes with it. Unlike it seems 95% of people, I seem to have the ability to have an issue or not think something is perfect, we'll say, and still be able to play it and have fun. For example, Shattered Veil is a really fun map to me and really cool in a lot of ways. And the Regomar 2 is one of my favorite wonder weapons of all time. Not my favorite, but one of them. However, I did not want to see it return in Shattered Veil, and I don't want to see it return ever again. When stuff returns, all it does is, even if it creates something cool in the moment and kind of somewhat does thematically fit in the moment, it still pulls away from the experience you're having and only lowers the potential ceiling of that experience. It may raise the floor too, because the Regomar 2 is an iconic wonder weapon that many people like. The Wonderwaff is also in Shattered Veil, another wonder weapon that many people like, or at least know. So it may raise the floor, but if we're trying to raise the floor in every experience and not shoot for the stars, then there's a problem. And I'm not saying that that's what the developers are doing, because they very clearly are not with Black Ops 6 Zombies, and it seems like they're nowhere near doing that in Black Ops 7 Zombies. Like, we just keep getting better and better and better. But I just wanted to use that as a little bit of an example and a little bit of kind of like a backstory on kind of where I'm going with this. Despite the Regomar 2 being one of my favorite wonder weapons of all time, I am a little annoyed that it returns in Shattered Veil again, because it was in BO2, BO3, BO4. I don't think it was in Cold War, but it was in Black Ops 6 again, and that's way too many times. Like, just imagine the staffs or the bows from Der Eisendrache were on all the maps in those games. It would just completely pull away from the uniqueness of each one of those maps. Now, dialing it back to the main discussion of this video, that's about mini bosses, right? And just to clarify once again, I'm not talking about end boss fights. I'm talking about literally, and I understand that there's somewhat semi-different classifications for what a mini boss is and a mini elite, whatever. I'm not going to go into those specifics. You know what I'm talking about. Manglers, abominations, mimics, disciples, all stuff like that in Black Ops 6 Zombies. And one last thing I'm going to say before I dial it directly towards Black Ops 6 Zombies is, let's take a look at Black Ops Cold War Zombies. If you look at Cold War Zombies, you'll see from map to map, there are a couple of returning bosses within each map itself. So now, not only do we have an issue of bosses, mini bosses. When I say bosses, I mean mini bosses. We have these bosses returning. How many times did I say bosses this video? Can we get a counter? Can someone count it down below in the comments? Anyways, not only do we now have in Black Ops 6 Zombies bosses returning for like 4 to 5 years, meaning we had it in Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare Zombies, and now Black Ops 6, either directly the same or in some kind of variation. That's really annoying, sure. But really what I wanted to focus on Cold War for was the bosses returning not only from previous games, like the Mangler was from Black Ops 3 at that point, but we had the same bosses on each map to the next map, with some variations, obviously, but that during that game's life cycle was kind of annoying and pulled away from each map a little bit. Like, I promise you, when somebody first saw the Mimic in Fire of AC, they didn't think, wow, I really hope that this is in the next DLC map. You know, a game mode like Outbreak, it makes sense to have a culmination of everything available in Cold War Zombies, also available in Outbreak, whether that's weapons, you know, side Easter egg items, or bosses. It makes sense to have that stuff in a game like Outbreak, or a game mode like Outbreak, or even Dead Ops Arcade, right? Those side modes. But the main round-based Zombies mode, from experience to experience, should have brand new bosses. We take a look at Black Ops 3 Zombies and even Black Ops 4 Zombies. We have brand new mini bosses in every single map that not only fit the map maybe story-wise, but also thematically, and enhance the uniqueness of each map, because they're also not available on any other map. Like, I go to Black Ops 2 Zombies, I play Mob of the Dead, I'm seeing Brutus. Like, just imagine, say they made for the first time ever Black Ops 2 in modern times. That means that Brutus would more than likely be inside of Mob of the Dead and Origins, right? It's just that type of boss that it would be in both maps. And that would degrade the quality of Mob of the Dead a little bit, the uniqueness of Mob of the Dead a little bit, and Origins as well. Having some kind of variation is definitely helpful, but in essence, even in Der Eisendrache, I know Der Eisendrache is almost like the fast version of Origins, so it's a little different in some kind of weird way, but like even the Panzer and DE, it's really cool, it's scary, but it would have been nice to have maybe something a little bit more fitting. Like in Zetsubou no Shima, we have that Thrasher mini boss that fits in with the plants. And Gorod Krovi, we saw the Mangler for the first time ever, and it fits thematically with that map as well, right? And the Mangler, as I've said multiple times, isn't the greatest, you know, mini boss ever, but he's there and he's cool and he fits Gorod, and it is what it is. Like, it's all right, it all works out. But now in Black Ops 6 Zombies, we have the Mangler in a couple of different ways appearing, and it's kind of annoying, man. And in Cold War as well, we have that. It's just that era has to stop, where we continue to to rehash old things and see them again and again and again, because the maps in Black Ops 6 Zombies are really good, and they dialed back kind of like the reuse stuff. Like, we didn't see a Mangler inside of Reckoning. We didn't see an Abomination inside of Reckoning. Like, for the most part, it's just the KLAUSes. But actually, I'm wrong. I'm thinking about it now. There actually was a Fowler Mangler inside of Reckoning. In Shattered Veil, there weren't any Manglers that spawned, but there was also one for a side Easter egg step. And listen, I'll definitely take that as a compromise, as just like one step in an Easter egg or part of the Easter egg. If we have to make a boss return, some variation of it, you know, whatever. I'm okay with that, I guess. But I would love for this stuff to be extremely unique, if you get what I'm saying here. Like I said, Reckoning does do a good job. Shattered Veil does a solid job as well. Like, the Disciple is practically the newest boss on the map. But like, again, if you think back to Black Ops 3, we had the Parasites on Shadow's Evil. We had the Spiders on Zetsubou no Shima. We had the Meatballs even as a max ammo round inside of Shadow's Evil as well. And we didn't see any of that stuff carry over from map to map, right? And I understand some of you are going to point out, hey, what about Revelations? There's Panzers on that again, and there's elemental variants of the Margwas, and I get that, but it is just a little bit different. Would I have rathered newer bosses in that experience? Absolutely. But at least, at the very least, there was a fire version and some kind of like elemental purple version of the Mangler. They aesthetically looked really cool, you can't deny that. And they had a couple of different attacks as well, so it's not just like the traditional Mangler, right? And even the Wonder Weapon Revelations was rehashed too. And this isn't, again, I know I made it a little bit more so about it rehashing of a lot of things in Zombies in this video. That wasn't the direct point, but using all of this stuff as an example goes to kind of show you how rehashing almost anything kind of takes away from an experience in some sense, although it could definitely add to it. And like I said, lower the potential floor, meaning if you put in maybe a bad boss and a bad Wonder Weapon, that would really deteriorate the quality of a map. But since you're reusing something, you're also deteriorating, or lowering is the better word, the potential ceiling. So now you're putting real brackets around, you know, how high you can go and how low you can go, which is not what we want. As I said earlier, we want to shoot for the stars. So my proposal really is let's kind of keep it like Shattered Veil, let's keep it like Reckoning, and really let's more so ship back to what we have in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 Zombies. Let's not see any returning bosses on any of these maps for the most part, unless you're gonna really give some kind of elemental version of it. And again, I'm not saying I want that, but like if they did that, at least it wouldn't be a direct one-for-one copy of a boss. Like we have the Amalgam appear from map to map. I'm pretty sure the Amalgam is in every single map with the exception of Liberty Falls. I don't think I've seen it on Reckoning yet at all either, but I know it's on Shattered Veil, I know it's in Citadel, I know it's in Terminus, and regardless of if it is on one map that I didn't mention and can't remember, that's not the point. The fact that it's on more than one is the issue. I'm telling you guys, Reckoning is going to be as good of a map as it is because of the fact, and I'm talking about maybe in a couple of months and maybe even a year or so from now, people are going to remember it more uniquely and more highly because of the fact that, hey, okay, there's a challenging boss fight in this map, final boss fight in this map. There's a brand new Wonder Weapon that's actually unique in this map. And by the way, if you didn't know, you could pack-a-punch the Gorg effects. I have to say this in my videos now because people don't know this, but if you upgrade to one of the variants, which I have a video on my channel, the best guide on YouTube, you can click that to watch it. You can upgrade the Gorg effects, pack-a-punch it once you upgrade to one of the variants, and it is very good. But they'll say we have this amazing difficult boss fight, we have two boss fights, we have the great Gorg effects, and we have the Uber KLAUSes and the Commando KLAUSes, and those weren't available on any other map in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Pair that with the verticality of the map, the aesthetics, right? Like, there's a lot going on in Reckoning that people are gonna like, and I'm not saying that the main reason people are gonna love it is the mini bosses being unique, because like I just said, that's not the case, or that being the only thing is not the case, is what I mean. But it's definitely a pivotal aspect to how memorable and how good and how fresh a map feels, and I think the best way to put Reckoning is it feels fresh in Black Ops 6 Zombies. It really does. Shattered Veil was a breath of fresh air, and Reckoning was a complete wind gust of fresh air, and it was really on par with a traditional Zombies experience. It really was. So going forward into Black Ops 7 Zombies, what I really want to see is these mini bosses being flushed out. Like, I don't want to see another Amalgam, God forbid, please, in this brand new map coming out. Like, I'm just going to call it the Transit Remake. We've already learned that it's not going to be a Transit Remake. It's going to be some map kind of like an idea process, similar, meshed idea process, similar to Transit and Revelations in a sense, of kind of how areas are going to appear, it seems, as of now. But I don't want to see Amalgams return. I don't want to see Manglers return. If anything, to be honest with you, I think something that we're probably going to wind up seeing in Black Ops 7 Zombies in terms of bosses is actually returning bosses from Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 Zombies, since everything kind of got thrown in the dark ether. I'm not completely, you know, caught up with the story stuff and complete understanding, but I wouldn't be surprised if we now see some older stuff from the past kind of flash its way in there with the excuse of, oh, this is in the dark ether. So listen, if that is is the case. It's not going to be the biggest deal ever, because when originally we got the Mangler and Firebase Z from Black Ops 3 Zombies, I was like, oh, that's cool. They're kind of paying homage to how good or how really memorable the Mangler was in Black Ops 3. Some may call it nostalgia baiting, and I get that, and they may do that again in this game. They probably very well are going to in Black Ops 7 Zombies, but the simplest solution ever is only keep it on one map. I'll give you a prime example. Say they bring back from Cold War Zombies the Avogadro zombie, I forgot what they called it, but the electric zombie. Say they bring that zombie back, right? That mini boss zombie. That'll probably fit this next map that we have coming up. And to be honest with you, like I said, it's a little like annoying in a way, because I would want a completely fresh brand new boss in every single experience, but like it's only a little annoying, because if it fits and it's, you know, thematically right or whatever, right, it feels right and really contributes to the gameplay, then so be it. So say they bring back this electric zombie and it fits and it all works out, that's cool, that's great first experience. I don't want to then go into DLC 1 and say, wait, why did I just see an electric zombie in the trailer? No, we need completely brand new bosses in the next map. So if they were going to do something like that again, let's bring back an old boss. Say for some reason we got to go to an island and it happens to be near Zetsubo no Shima. Say it's another island somewhat near it somehow, some way, right? And they bring back the Thrasher from Zetsubo no Shima. Okay, cool, really cool. Wow, this boss is back. Do not bring it into DLC 2. Do you get where I'm going here? I think I reiterated the same point 100,000 times, but what this does very clearly is set a unique tone, unique atmosphere, unique set of qualities for each map. I gave you the example of Reckoning. I gave you examples of how it was bad in this game with the Amalgam and even the Doppelgast in some sense, and I really think that's going to set us up to be amazing. Like, we're in the Dark Ether in Black Ops 7 Zombies. If they really harness that jellyfish, mushroom kind of thing like we saw in D Machina, which I don't know, from the initial teasers that we got, we're not too sure, but if they do go down that route and it's like purpley, pinkish, and it's darker, dude, it's gonna be so sick, and we can have dark etherified bosses of maybe returning bosses come back, like who knows. But I'm telling you, since the map's experiences or the map's settings are gonna be just so unique and really just so beautiful, now having original or single bosses from map to map is gonna make a big difference. Like, just imagine, like that example I gave earlier, they do bring back that electric zombie for the Onyx map, then whatever, I'm just throwing stuff out there. DLC 1, we have the Thrasher from Zetsubo, you know, it consumes you and your friends when you down. Then imagine in the next map they bring back some kind of elemental Margwa of some sense, and this all fits each map thematically somehow. Dude, I'm telling you, we're set up to be great. But if we have another game where we have, okay, say they bring back the electric zombies on disc, then we have them in DLC 1 with a new boss, it just starts to get really overcrowded, and it transitions from playing Call of Duty Zombies to Call of Duty mini boss. Even if they reduce the boss spam, it still takes away, as I said multiple times throughout this video, from the highest high that we can have for each map because of the uniqueness factor being pulled away. It's one thing having a boss return from game to game, especially when it's back-to-back games, but either way, from game to game, like we saw from Cold War to Vanguard Zombies to Modern Warfare Zombies to Black Ops 6 Zombies with the Disciple as an example, and I like the Disciple, but it's one thing to have that happen, and then it's another thing to have that happen and have it appear on every single map or multiple maps. That era needs to go away, it needs to stop, and at the very least, if we do rehash a boss, it's gotta be some kind of really cool new version of it to give us that wow factor again that we would get from a brand new boss, because it would essentially be a brand new boss at that time, right? Just like that elemental Margwa in Revelations. I think I chatted a little too long and repeated myself for a little too long, but I'll be straight up with you guys. My videos have not been doing, my long form videos have not been doing very good, and my short form have been doing insane, and I'm really starting to get a little scared here, so I'm gonna be pumping out videos like crazy. So I'm sorry if I repeated myself a little bit too much in this, but I really wanted to emphasize an important point and something that I think is pulling away from modern zombies, despite me loving it in a lot of ways. I've been hesitant to use that word, and I don't love modern zombies for a couple of reasons, but I would say that in a lot of ways, I do love Black Ops 6 Zombies, despite some of the issues that are present. And if you're somebody who doesn't love modern zombies or like modern zombies, or maybe you hate modern zombies, right? I want to just leave you with something that I did mention earlier as we end this video off. It is entirely possible for you to get annoyed at something like I did in Shattered Veil. I mentioned with the Wonder Waff returning, and you know, the Ray-Gun Mark II. The Ray-Gun Mark II is one of my favorite wonder weapons ever, but man, I don't want to see it again. We saw it in game to game to game. The same issues I talked about in this video with mini bosses, we've experienced with the Ray-Gun Mark II. So as good as it is, that wow factor and that, you know, real unique feeling I used to get with it is no more. And that really is saddening to me. But if I take a step back and I really look at Shattered Veil, like, I love to play it. Like, I really do. I love to redo the Easter egg. I love the boss fight. I love the less boss spam on that map. Like, there's a lot going on. And listen, man, I'm like you. I love Black Ops 3 Zombies. I really do, it's still the best zombies mode of all time to me. But you gotta appreciate stuff and give credit where credit's due. You don't need to spend every waking second of your life critiquing something and looking at something through a scope. Like, just take a step back, relax, and enjoy what you can. Thank Jesus you have the opportunity to even play a game, to have the ability to have fun, that you own a console or a PC or whatever, and try to have any amount of fun that you could have. You know what I'm saying? With that said, take care of your meatballs, guys. Peace.
I've been wishing for some better days. Could you listen? No, why can you stay?